So on this week's episode of Be More Super, the podcast, we've got a great guest. This guest can be recognised from The Expanse, Designated Survivor, 40 Days and 40 Nights, FBI, Splinter, one of my all-time favourite movies, and not forgetting Animorphs. It's a wonderful Paulo Costanzo. Paulo, welcome to the show, sir.
That's nearly my entire resume.
Get out of it. You've got so much more on your IMDb. And it's quite funny because... Well, I showed a co-worker a picture of you on who I was interviewing, and believe it or not, out of everything you've done, she went, Animorphs. And I was like, wow, you know, he's done a lot more since then.
I think they're actually in the midst of making that a new thing, which is good because the technology finally has caught up to the idea.
But the thing is,
Animorphs is a show about a group of teenagers who are given through some ridiculous spaceship that lands, and they touch a cube. Of course, they touch it's always a cube. They touch this magic cube, and then they can turn into animals. And we made the really low budget show. Even at the time, it was low budget. So they were morphing into animals, and it is hilarious to see it now because it just looks like photographs have been it's like a bad photograph morphing technology. But
the thing is though, isn't that great though? Like watching it back and looking how aged it is, and it's all about nostalgia. I think it's great looking back and seeing the effects from years ago compared to now. And you starred in that with Sean Ashmore, if I'm right in saying, yeah. But before we start talking about your awesome career, what I normally ask my guests is: this past 2 years have been quite unusual to say the least. How have you kept yourself busy, positive, and moving forward step by step?
Oh my God, I don't even know how to answer that. And it just keeps going. I really appreciate you having the little sticker, the Ukraine sticker there. I don't know. I mean, I have a family. I'm very lucky that I have a family, and we've stuck together. And you know, I have a son, and he's unflappably happy through everything. So that's been a great support beam for me. You know, you just got to keep. I mean, this may lead us into a conversation that you're going to cover later, but we shot Upload during the pandemic before the vaccine came. So, you know, we had all these protocols, and people were still afraid of dying. Like it was a real thing. It wasn't now it feels like some sort of kind of like, oh yeah, everything's, you know, we're almost past it in a way. Who knows if we are, but it was weird to shoot a show in that environment. And I feel very lucky that I got to have that distraction. And, you know, because we created order with a lot of protocols. We created an order, and then within that order, you know, the actors were given the space to kind of do their thing and kind of be joyful in that.
I can imagine it was quite a scary time as well in the way of work, because everything's just stopped. You know, I've got friends that are in the West End, and all the theatres closed down, and a lot of my friends that are performers had to take up normal jobs to pay the rent and get by. And it's so nice to see shows getting back and letting us escape from this madness that we're in at the moment for a few hours. So it's great to see people going back, obviously with restrictions, but it must have been great to actually go back to work, you know, after the height of the pandemic.
Yeah, it was, and we had fun.
And we're going to talk about Upload because it's an awesome show. But you know, the first question is, why acting? Because one, are you crazy? And two, because it's one of those industries where there's so many ups and downs. There's so much rejection. You know, why was that chosen, and why not a career of being a famous trumpet player? Because apparently, you know, see, for me, I didn't play the trumpet. I lost out. Someone in front of me got the trumpet at school. I got the cornet, which is a smaller trumpet.
I know what a cornet is.
And we weren't as cool because apparently if you get a saxophone, you pull all the girls. But I was last in line.
saxophone was number one on my list. I got bumped to trumpet. So how can you ever be happy? Literally just getting the second choice.
I know, I know. So why acting? Why that channel and not like a 9 to 5 job?
Well, you pose an interesting question. No one's ever asked me that before in that way. But I got into acting. My mom was an actress. She went to theater school, and then she kind of had to stop acting because she had to raise me, and my parents divorced, and she was like a single mom basically for a while. Um, but she was always kind of goofy and like doing dramatic things, and introduced me to musical theater. And like I remember listening to the movie soundtrack of Little Shop of Horrors when I was really young, and being like, "Well, this is really weird and cool." Um, but then then I did this ridiculous trumpet thing, and I got into this art school for this trumpet thing. And the whole time I just wanted to be an actor so badly because I just thought it was so cool when I saw people on stage, other kids doing it. I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And then I just, it's a really long story. You can see it in other places, so I won't bore you with it. But I decided to switch and I auditioned to change. And frankly, the answer to your question is I got into it really young. I was very lucky to have just succeeded a lot in a row. My first big movie was a movie called Road Trip, and I was 21. And suddenly I was in Hollywood, and I was, at these premieres, and it all felt very strange and surreal. But um, the rejection, it just wasn't a big deal because I was getting lots of work and stuff. Once you get, and also I didn't have anyone, I didn't have like a fan, I didn't have a, if I had like $5,000, I was like, I'm rich. I can buy all the video games I want and smoke all the weed I want. This is great. Uh, but when you get older, and you get a family and you have a mortgage and stuff like that, then the pressure, that's when I kind of started to feel it. When I started to realize, oh, I'm doing this, my profession is my passion. And we're all fighting for stuff right now. You can talk to some of the biggest actors in the world. They still will say, and maybe they won't admit it, but they're losing roles to people that they are they feel are higher than them on the chain. So it's the answer to your question is I got into it before I understood the implications of what you're talking about. My grandfather told me he was an actor, and he said, "Don't act. Trust me, don't act." And I was like, I'm not going to listen to you. You did like a couple commercials, and that's all you got to do. Um, so I have no regrets. I don't regret any of it, but it's a very good question.
Mm. And you as an actor, I know you said about earlier on when I was reading off some of your credits, you literally pop up on everything. I mean, I was watching FBI the other day. I was catching up on it, and there's a picture of you on FBI there. And I've got to say, you're rocking the grey hair, very, very nice. I went grey, and there was tinges of grey, and you play Spencer Riggs in that show. So don't put yourself down. You literally seem to be one of the busiest actors out there, which is great to see. And you pop up on the coolest shows. But let's talk about Upload, because season 2,
Right.
and I have read that it's now number 1 streaming on Amazon in the US. So congratulations!
I didn't
If you
know
can
that.
tell,
That's great.
yeah, number 1. I had Josh on the show a week and a half ago,
I love
and
Josh.
he. Oh, do you know what? He's such a character. He really, really is.
He's one of the
I
funniest
really,
people I know.
I really regret not asking him to do his Morgan Freeman impression, because he just
I just
does
saw
that
that too
perfectly.
on TikTok. That was
Yeah.
very good.
So yeah, number 1 in the US, and it's doing tremendously well here in the UK as well. If you could let people know who you play and a bit about what's happening in season 2.
So it's so hard to explain. So yes, so in season 2, if you've seen season 1, there's the main characters live in this world of there's an upload world called Lakeview. When you die, you can get your consciousness gets uploaded, so you're basically like an avatar and you're still alive. And I play a character named Mateo, who is one of the Ludds. Lud is short for Luddite, which is someone who does not like technology and things like that. So I'm kind of like a ecological terrorist in a sense. We believe that that uploads. Well, socialist terrorist. We believe that upload should be for everyone, not just the rich. So we're trying to tear down the financially, the structure of it so that it can be, like free healthcare, basically, like it is in Canada. Canada would have free upload for everyone. So yeah, that's who I am. I come into the show early, and then I instantly kind of start up a fling with the main character Nora, played by Andy Allo, and then craziness ensues.
And what a mean character, I've got to say. I love how you've been put in the mix to divide Andy and Robbie as well, his character, which is great. I mean, did you see season 1 before you went into season 2 to film, or did you go in there with fresh eyes?
I did. I watched it. Yeah.
And at what point, I've got to say, I mean, we could talk about it because obviously it was only 7 episodes long, and at the end, I was shocked it was finished. I was like, no, I want more. I really, really do. I actually thought Ingrid and Matteo could have got together. I don't know why. I don't know if that would be a good fit. I don't know.
Think Matteo could stand her for more than like a second. No.
You could change her. You could change her. You could change her. I've got to say as well, the great thing about Instagram, you're new on Instagram, and I've got to give you, a massive round of applause because I've watched this video time and time again. I think I've got a picture of it.
You're not going to. No.
Right, don't worry. I'm not going to play it. But if everyone goes on your Instagram, because you're fairly new to Instagram, and I've got to say, social media is like a rabbit hole. It really, really is. You don't know what to put on there, but you've put this on here to Jackson's Rhythm Nation, which is awesome. It really, really is. So if everyone gets onto your Instagram account, I'll put the link in the video.
Just so you know what that is. So we had a lot of time hanging out in the actors tent because we couldn't really go around the set when we weren't working because of COVID protocol. So we were in there for so long, and it was cold, and it was just, we had a lot of time to think and talk. And one day I was like, I just want to feel like I want to dance right now. And they were like, what? And then we started and we kind of looked like Rhythm Nation dancers from the video with the outfits we had. So we just spent like 2 days choreographing this ridiculous, stupid thing. And that's what that is. That's what that little dance is. And I am trying so hard. They're both really good dancers. I'm a little goofy in it, but
you did all right.
I did okay. We rehearsed without a mirror. I couldn't see what I was doing with my arms. Anyhow.
But I've got to say, from your Instagram account, on the downtime in upload, you seem to have a lot of energy, sort of pranking around with your co-stars. I mean, what was it like to work on? Because obviously you said that the pandemic, it stopped you, but, you got quite friendly with Josh. I mean, what was the overall experience like working on a show like that? Because it is an awesome and samely, unusual show. It really is. Funny 1 second, serious the next. What was the whole experience like for you?
Do you want like the glossed over version or like the real one?
Real version. Real. Yeah.
So, because there was a quarantine in Canada of 14 days, I couldn't go back to Connecticut. We were staying in Connecticut for that part of my family and I. So the shoot was, I don't know, like 95 days or 90 days. I had to stay there for the whole 90 days, 90, whatever it was. And I only worked for like 14 days. So I had like 70, wow. I had so much downtime. And I couldn't go to movie theaters, couldn't go to restaurants, couldn't hang out with the cast inside. Amazon kept it we did not want to have an outbreak on set. So the truth of it is that it was really just weird. The one thing I will say is that I found there's a sport called pickleball. I don't know if you're aware of what this is. I was playing tennis in Connecticut, kind of a winterized tennis thing, and I like sports. and I couldn't find anything like it in Vancouver. So I found this weird pickleball sport, which is the fastest growing sport in North America. It's really getting huge now. There's nothing more fun. So I found this place where people played all day, and I just wore my mask and I just played for like 6 hours a day. That and Josh Banday are what allowed me to hold on to my sanity, because it was really tough. Like, I don't like being alone that much in a house. So pickleball and Josh really saved me. That's the
And
that's the true answer.
and I suppose being away from your family as well, because I suppose, I mean, for me, if I've got to go away on like a retreat for a week or so, I miss my family so much, my girls and my wife and the pets and everything like that, because I'm very homely. So being away for that long, that must have been horrible, away from your little boy and
Don't you mean
your family.
homey? I think homely means ugly.
Does it? Homely?
I have
You
to hold
sure?
on.
Homely.
I think homely means ugly. I'm just going to quickly do this.
Honestly, I open my mouth and
lacking.
hope for
Okay,
the best.
homely, lacking in physical attractiveness, not beautiful, unattractive. So I'm not. I didn't do that to be a know-it-all. I do that so that I don't get mixed up. I never let a word go by. So I hope
Wow,
everyone.
and I have been using that word for years. Homely. Wow.
So,
Wow.
because you literally just said, I like hanging out with my girls and my animals, and because I'm very homely. And anyway, just a
See,
little
you learn
replay.
something every day. You learn something every day. So, have we got any word on a season 3? Do you know
No,
if?
no,
No.
I don't know. I haven't heard any. I don't understand how. It seems to be doing really well. I hope so. I hope it comes back. I want to go back and play
And
pickleball with those guys.
and I, and I'm sure that you couldn't tell me if there was, because what I'm finding, there's a trend of NDAs where you can't say certain things and what you can, and but you know what? Let's hope we get a season 3, because it ended on such a cliffhanger. It's got to have more. And what I hate about
Yeah.
shows is when they end them and you don't get any more. And I just think that's so. This is why I like
Amazon
limited
wouldn't do
series.
that. If the worst case scenario, they'd give us like 3 to close it up. There's no chance. I don't think there's any chance that they would do that. I think it'd be
Mm,
bad, and it would also probably alienate Greg Daniels from them. I think he would be really pissed off.
mm.
So, I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen.
Fingers crossed. And obviously, the Luds camp that you're in, I think it's a wonderful camp. I think they should turn that into a retreat for teenagers, where they go, they get all their technology taken off them, and they live and grow their foods for a couple of weeks. I
Yeah,
would send my girls there.
that's called rehab for alcohol. That's called a treatment center, my friend. That was actually shot in a paintball place. That's what the Lud camp was. It was like a paintball, all those little huts and stuff. They have dressed it all up, but it was a paintball place.
Oh, that is awesome! That is awesome. And we've spoken about your lovely Instagram post. So if anyone wants to watch it, it's currently streaming on Amazon, like literally around the world, and it's such a great show. It really is. And your characters, Matteo, is wonderful. And why I've got you here, I wanted to speak about Designated Survivor, because this is
Mhm.
one of these shows where I'm not into politics that much. I don't know much about politics, but I like my American sort of Americana. I once nearly got arrested 3 times in one day in Washington, D.C. One was leaning on the Declaration of Independence, because I couldn't see it. It was faded, and I was trying to read it. And then the second time, I was petting a dog through the gates of the White House, and I had 4 Secret Service run up to me, and apparently it was the president's dog. And then the third one, I was jaywalking, which is in the UK, we don't have jaywalking. But I love the US, and
The
Designated
first two
Survivor.
of those sound kind of justifiable. The third one is, I'm sorry. Yes, that's a thing here, and
Well,
it's
to be
stupid.
honest,
Not in New
I
York though.
lit. Sorry, what was that?
Jaywalking's not a thing in New York. Like
Isn't it?
we don't. That's no one's getting arrested for jaywalking. Otherwise, everybody would just get arrested at the same time.
Well, I may have just got a really cranky sort of police officer because he had a massive go at me, and
Maybe
I
in
just turned on.
Washington things are a lot more strict. Like
Hmm.
maybe they're really strict and they're like, you can't pet the actual president's dog.
Well, I didn't
Like maybe
know. I
they're
could hear a like I could hear a bush going near the fence, and I thought it was a dog. So I clicked a bit, and then the dog came up to the like this fence thing, and I put my hand through, gave it a bit of a cuddle, and then all of a sudden, Secret Service came up and shouted at me and said, "Can you step away?" And I was like, "What? I'm so sorry." And for some reason, when this happens, I turn more
beat
English
red.
than. Yeah, and more English. I'd like to turn into Hugh Grant, and I'm like, I'm terribly sorry. I do apologise. I'm
Did you tell
English.
them that you were homely and you just wanted to go back to?
No, I should have. I should have, but who knows? They may not have known the meaning.
That's a good point.
But yeah, so designated survivor. I heard that when you went for the actual role, you didn't even know, like, you didn't have the script, you didn't know what you were signing up for. Is that right, or have I read it wrong?
Yeah. So I got offered that part, and they were like, "Yeah, you're gonna, you got 22 episodes, and you're gonna do it, and here's, you're gonna be playing the special this guy." And they didn't give me anything, so I had to. It was actually a tense moment for my agent because I was like, "I am not signing on to something unless I see some script." He was like, "Are you? No, no, just take it, just take it." I was like, "I'm not gonna take a role if I don't see what the character." No. And they sent me over a few scenes, and they were really good. Like it's such a great character. Um, so I was really, really happy about it at that point, and I said yes.
I
But
mean,
yeah, no, yeah.
you play a political advisor on the show. I mean, what sort of research did you have to do? I mean, are you political? Do you know a lot about politics, or did you have to do a
No,
bit of research for it?
um, no. I did research on what was in the script. Like if I had to talk about something, I would research that thing. I didn't do any sort of general research over things. Everything I said. I made sure I understood what I was saying. But it's also like it's a pretty dumbed down version of politics. It's not the West Wing. It was kind of like
Mm,
it was, which made it really kind of digestible. I think it made it really easy for people to watch because it was, I don't think people want to get into all of the minutia and everything else. I think
mm,
they just liked they liked Kiefer. People like some people who like Kiefer really like them some Kiefer, and they just wanted it to be a little more simplistic.
mm. Mm. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you play Lior Boone, and it's just an awesome character. I've got to say, your one-liners in it, I've got to mention there was one that you said, which was 2% of all males under 40 die of a heart attack triggered by a liquid burn. And I need to research that because, one,
No, the next line, doesn't she say that's not, is that really true? And I said, could be. I think that's what I
could be.
said there. I think I made
To
that
be
up.
honest, though, you sounded quite convincing, but it's okay. I'm just slightly over 40, believe it or not, so I'm okay. But no, I mean, have you got any favorite one-liners or favorite parts of that show
There
that
was an
would?
episode, I mean, this is only people who've seen it would know, but there's an episode where there was an indigenous people they were kind of flooding into the White House, and I forget, they wanted something. I forget what but maybe they were being pushed out of their land, their reservation. I forget what it was. But anyway, there was this really great indigenous actor that I had to work with, a young guy, and I had scenes with him in a hallway where they were like basically staging like a sitting protest. Those were my favorite scenes by far because what did he say? He said I gave him this whole lecture, and he's like, "Well, what do you even do here?" And I said something like, "I bring the magic." That's what Leo Boone said to that. He said, "I bring the magic."
Yeah, your character is very cocky at times, which it's what I love about the character. And one of my favorite scenes, I think it was Christmas time, and you were having a go at the girls, the singers, the choir, and you were getting them to sing your song, and I just thought it was a classic moment. But the cast that you starred alongside are phenomenal, from Cal Penn to the wonderful Kiefer Sutherland, and Kiefer's got quite a reputation from all the stars I've spoken to from 24 of being a die-hard professional on set. Is he as serious and focused on set as people believe he is?
Um, yes, he's extremely prepared. Uh, he he comes knowing all the lines, and he doesn't suffer fools. So if you come unprepared, like you're gonna get it. He's gonna like make you hurt for that.
Mm,
Um, but I really liked that because I always come prepared as well.
mm,
Um, I just liked having someone who was like he was the captain of the ship, period. And when he showed
mm.
up, like this is what's happening, and here's how it's going to happen, and um, and he can get cranky at times, but everybody can get cranky at times.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
the way that the thing I enjoyed most about him was he loved chess. So Italia and Aiden and I and Kiefer would play chess in between takes. And regardless of anything Kiefer had to do, he had so many lines, such a huge responsibility on the show. No matter what he had to do, even if he was in the middle of something, if I was like, "Hey, Kiefer, you want to play chess?" He'd be like, "Yeah, okay," and he would come over. Like he couldn't resist it. And when I got there, I wasn't very good, but by the end of the season, I had learned from them, and I started beating Kiefer. And one time, I went on a streak, and I think I beat him like 6 or 7 times in a row. And he just kept coming back. He's like, again, again, again. And then finally he got it back, and then he was okay. But he had to beat me. He had to win.
Mm. I
I
mean, I've
miss the
met him
guy. I miss.
twice. I've met him twice, and I've got to say, he's always been very kind and very nice, and he seems that he's got a lot of time for people. And I won't mention which actor, but there was an actor that spoke out about him during 24 and just said that he made his life terrible. So it's quite nice to hear that people are saying fond things about him, because from you and from me meeting him a couple of times when he didn't have to be nice to me. um, you know Again, you're only human. You have your bad days and good days, which a lot of fans forget about because y- you know we are people. We're not going to be like we are on screen all the time.
Well played.
Mm. Mm. But then again, I've seen plenty of footage of you being kind to fans, signing autographs, and being courteous. I mean, do you get annoyed about that, or do you like fan
It's
interactions?
been so long because of COVID and because I haven't been to an actual premiere in so long. No, not at all. No, I feel very. I mean, look, if you're in the middle of a bad moment and someone interrupts that or something, obviously it's not going to feel great. But for 99% of the time, I'm always feel very happy about
Mm.
getting recognized and having someone compliment the work, so, even if it's from 20 years ago, whatever. That's
Mm.
always like, wow, that's really cool. People are watching it, because you're making it in a vacuum. There's no audience there. It's just a mechanical machine with a big eye that's staring at you, and you work and you try to make it the best that you can, and then you go home and you let it go. And so when someone comes around, they're like, "Hey, I actually saw that and actually appreciate that." It's really nice, validating.
And and would you ever consider doing a convention, or have you done conventions before, or is that
I've never done a
something?
convention. I don't know that I've done anything that would actually like be like welcome me into a convention. Maybe the Expanse. Um, yeah, I would totally do a convention. Yeah. Are you inviting me to a
Yeah.
convention at your
Well,
house?
we can always get that out, and we can always get you here over the UK, and it's a good excuse to get you over. So would love to have you over here for the UK for a sign in and the Expanse. Yeah, I mean, what a show! I mean, to be part of that, being Garvey. I mean, great part, great show. I can't believe it's finished. I'm devastated, but I've just got a few questions, just general questions about your acting. So what kind of parts do you go after, and what really gets your creative juices going? I mean, you mentioned it earlier on with your agent. I mean, what sort of parts do you really want to go for?
It's really different from role to role. It's not like I can say like I like mostly drama or mostly comedy. It's uh, just certain good writing, I guess, probably good writing and a role that interests me. Um, and there are certain ones like Leor Boone, like like when I read those words, I was like, oh my God, like I cannot wait to do this and like do the work and like create this guy and be him for a whole freaking year. It's gonna be amazing. Um, Evan R. Lawson did a show called Royal Pains. When I read that the sides for that for my audition, I was like, this is my role. No one's getting this. Like this is I just knew it. Um, so it's just different. It's different every time. Sometimes it's just like you try on a shirt and you're like, holy shit, this fits me so. How does this fit so? It's like it was made for me. Um, you know.
Mm.
And other shirts are like, well, this shirt's so strange, but you know what? I'm gonna like tailor it. And I'm gonna like I want to like morph into whatever's gonna fit this shirt because the shirt's really nice. It's like look at the material of this shirt. It's so good. This metaphor was dead before it started, and I apologize.
No, I completely understand. And there's some shirts that fit really nice but don't last. They fall apart after a while. You know,
We could go deep on this.
we could go deep. So
And
I mean,
there's some shirts that just get canceled, you know, and they just get ripped off your back right in the middle of you
exactly.
wearing it. You're like, what the hell?
Exactly. Yeah. What the hell? What are you doing? Is there any projects that you've done in the past that you completely regret that you wish you could take off your IMDb?
Again, I don't regret anything. I never regret anything because it all led to now. But um, don't you find that now that you have kids, don't you find that like you can't really regret anything that happened before
No.
them because it would change the anyway. That's
No.
I made a
Do
movie
you know
about
what? Funny you say that. I was saying to a coworker today that no matter what's happened in the past, bad or good, it's got you where you are now. So we should be thankful for all those bad times that
what's that
we've.
movie? It's a British guy. It's Brendan Gleeson's kid. It's Domhnall Gleeson. Is it called In Time with
Yes.
Rachel McAdams? That
Yeah.
movie. I just realized as I was saying it, that movie is the movie where I got that he can go back in time, but once he has a kid, if he goes back in time and changes something, the kid will become a different kid because the odds of it being the same kid are too crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, both of what you and I said, I believe and agree with. What the hell were we talking about?
So any projects that you regret that you think, you know, I should have said no.
I mean, a couple short films I've done as favors, definitely. Uh, yeah, but no, I don't know. Yes, there was one. Do I have to tell you what it is? Isn't that bad to
Yeah.
do?
No.
There was a movie. Yes, no, I can say this. I can say this because they didn't treat me very well. There's a movie called I think it was released under the name Puff Puff Pass. It was directed by Danny Masterson, who's in a whole shitstorm right now, um, and Mekhi Phifer. They decided, and I was friendly with them, and so they asked me to do a cameo, and I did a cameo, and that was the worst day of shooting ever. The wardrobe person like yelled at me. It was just an awful thing, and then it came out, and it was just a horrible movie. So that I definitely would not do. I would not do that again.
Well, thankfully, I haven't seen it, so
You never will.
you
No
know,
one ever should. It is a horrible piece of shit. No one
there
should
you
ever
go.
watch.
A honest review there by yourself. Do you feel that you've changed as an actor? Because I've seen interviews from you when you were starting out to now. I mean, do you feel you have changed? I mean, obviously now you're a parent, but do you feel that you've changed as an actor from 14, 15 years ago to now?
Absolutely. I think everyone does with age. Um, so many different things. I mean, I probably had more energy when I was in my 20s. I did have more energy. You know what that's like. Definitely have
Yeah.
more energy, but I'm like, I'm more relaxed now about things. I kind of know my limitations more. I know, and and I also know that there's a lot that I don't know. When I was young, I really felt overconfident, like I knew everything, and no one was
Mm.
going to tell me anything, and I knew what I was doing, and I went through a stage where I was just annoyingly overconfident. Still was working the whole time, but but yeah, I don't have that kind of overconfidence anymore. I have, I'd even say that I have a healthy amount of self doubt, which I think probably may help to temper the work and make it better at times.
Mm.
Because
I
there's a
mean,
lot
if
that
you
I
could
don't
go
know.
back in time to your younger self, starting out, what would you tell yourself
I'd
as
be
like a
like,
bit of advice?
Paula, listen, okay, listen. I know you think you're great, but what's that? And then I just go, and I'd smack him in the face, and I'd be like, and then I'd disappear back to the future. How's that? And he would just be sitting being like, did I just see the older me? Did he just slap me in the, maybe I don't know everything. Oh my God. And then he would just become a much better actor right away. I don't know.
And where do you
Good
see
question,
yourself
though.
in? And where do you see yourself in 10 years' time? I mean, is it about awards? Is it about the work? Is it, are you wanting to write and produce more of your thing, your projects? Are you wanting to
Well,
direct more?
so I think I can say this now. So I'm writing and directing a short film. It's a long form short film later this year with currently the attached cast is Katie Holmes. There's an actor named Reed Birney who you may not know that name, but he's a Tony Award winner. Just he's one of my favorite actors. He's going to play my father. J. Smith Cameron is attached. She's on Succession. She's going to play my mother. It's a bit of a stretch because she looks really young, but we're going to make that work. And so that's what I'm really excited about right now. Is we're now I have a production company. We're in pre-production now. We're raising money. So in 10 years, hopefully, I'll be directing and writing, and maybe still acting. I don't know. I'm not sure. Acting. I've always been more interested, frankly, in directing anyway. Since I was very young, acting just kind of came along, and it came easily to me.
I mean, you tend to find a lot of actors now are turning to directing as well, like Carlos Bernard that played Tony Almeida on 24. He's doing a lot of directing now, but
Bryce
I
Dallas
suppose
Howard,
it. Sorry.
kicking ass. Bryce Dallas Howard, who's just destroying
Oh,
it on Mandalorian.
yeah. Yeah, and you know what I liked about the Mandalorian? They had a director. Am I right in saying for every episode, which was quite nice of season one, I think.
Yeah. Some of them repeat, but yeah,
And I'm
different
looking
ones.
forward to the next season because it's just awesome. It really, really is.
Such a
I
good
cannot
show
wait.
for
I
nerds
cannot
and
wait.
non-nerds alike.
Oh, it's just beautifully done. The Boba Fett, the book of Boba Fett. I think the most watched episode was the episode with the Mandalorian in it.
That's the
Which
one that Bryce directed. She
there you
directed
go.
my favorite episode as well.
There you go. So, one of the last questions: have you kept any mementos from any of your projects? Do you collect anything?
Yes. I have too many mementos. Too many mementos. In fact, you know what? I'm going to show you something because
Yes.
I think I want to try to sell this.
Oh, do you know what?
Hold on a second.
The
Yeah.
sponsors of my show, Prop Store, are one of the biggest companies in the world that deals with screen use props and costumes and crew pieces.
Are you kidding? Dude, I
No?
gotta get your email. Because check this out.
Yeah, I mean, they
So
are massive.
this is it's just like a shirt, right? It's an oversized, baseballish type shirt. Wow, there's a big lag on my computer. But if you see this, it's an Ithaca University shirt. There. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Ithaca? So Ithaca University doesn't exist. Ithaca University was created by Todd Phillips when he wrote Road Trip because they didn't want to use a real university. So this was it was one of the shirts that they made for people to wear. I stole it from the wardrobe truck or somewhere, and I've worn it probably like 700 times. I used to wear it as my like pajama shirt. Um, I think probably a few of my girlfriends also have worn this shirt. In fact, I know they have. But yeah, I would love to sell this. I have a picture of me. I have a Polaroid of me wearing it when I was like 20, like right after we shot Road Trip. And
To be
I could
honest, by
sign
you
it.
just showing it, would be good enough for Stephen Lane at Prop Store. I mean, they have an auction twice a year, one in LA, because they've got offices in LA and in London as well, or near London. And you want to see the stuff that they auction off. It's just incredible. I mean, I bought off them a screen used Kiefer Sutherland shirt and jeans from 24 from day 5 that he uses in all the promo shots. But yeah, anything you've got, I mean, I will go through.
I have a lot of stuff, and I want to sell it so I can give the money for the refugees in Ukraine. So
that is awesome. I will connect you with Prop Store, and we can make that happen for sure. So we've gone over what's next for you. Paula, you've been a great guest. I wouldn't want to keep you any longer because I'm sure, what time is it there now? It's probably about 4 o'clock.
It's 3:43, and that's the most busy time of day for me.
Is it really?
No, it's not at all. No, this has been great. You've asked me.